and I held his hand. And so he just turned me over and hit me, and then he hit me at the back of my neck here, and that was it. I lost sensation to all my body parts.
Hi guys, welcome back to Gistline TV. Before I continue to this video and give you more updates, if this is the first time you are watching my video or this is the first time you are visiting my channel, make sure you hit on the subscription button, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notification icon so you will be the first to be notified each time I drop any trending video. Yeah. Based on the trending gist about Emeka Ike, Nollywood actor who had a live interview on Channels television narrating how the wife sold all his properties, reducing him to nothing. If you have not watched the video about that interview, please check on my description. I dropped the link to the video there. Emeka Ike's ex-wife has openly spoke about the allegation leveled on her in an interview with Chud. She said that all that Emeka Ike said about her selling his multi-million-dollar school and other properties are all lies. She sadly narrated all the pains, emotional trauma, abuse she went through in the hands of her ex-husband Emeka Ike, and many more things she revealed about Emeka Ike, some hidden secrets. Abeg, who we go believe for this matter? Where dey trend, where dey happen? Since this thing happen and now the thing come dey trend, e come dey come out. I will not encourage anybody to be in abusive relationship or abusive marriage, because the end is a dead end. And also any woman wey dey find im husband down for na also dead end that one be. Please sit and watch the interview of Emeka Ike's wife with Chud. Also, please drop your comments on what you think about this whole thing, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please subscribe to my channel at Gistline TV. Watch the video. I'll be back.
So I want to go straight into it, because the internet has been on fire over the past 1 week because of allegations, heavy allegations that your ex-husband made. Before I talk about the issues, where were you when you heard these things?
It was early in the morning. I had just woken up and I saw a message from my sister, and it was like, just be calm, he's at it again, And then going into the message and seeing the same thing that has been going on for the past 10 years. And I just like, this is it, I've had enough. I need to put an end to this, because I feel like I kind of ran out of an abusive relationship, but I'm still under abuse for the past 10 years, because I've tried to move on with my life. I've tried to build my life from scratch, but this person just keeps going to the media space to bash, defame me and cook up lies and just say things that never existed, or, something that he has built up on, So I just decided it's time to speak up.
This is the first time that you're ever speaking up on this issue in the media, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. What we remember from this marriage as the public is, either in 2016 or 2017, we know that Emeka Ike was in court with you, begging you not to go. Yeah, the news that we heard was that he knelt down in court and begged you, and his friends knelt down in court and begged you.
No, that never happened.
That never happened?
Yes, that never happened. In court, he would always say that he would do the right thing. He would come to my family, and we would discuss and everything. And, they'll tell us to go back and do that. And they will adjourn the case. The next adjourned date, we come back, they ask me, did he come to you? I would say no, because that never happened. Right. You understand? In fact, if I may say, in court, he had actually told me and said, who wants you back? And I had pointed out to the judge, and the judge had said that he heard him. So it was all a facade, because he just wanted to look good and to stretch the court proceedings more than it should have been done. There was never any day. His friends did reach out, you understand, but they were not in court. Nobody knelt down in court to beg me.
So you say that you survived an abusive marriage, you know.
Yeah.
What do you mean exactly by that?
Okay, so
what was the abuse?
It started off as verbal. It started off as mental torture. It started as psychological. Started off as financial, financial abuse, because I was not allowed to work. You understand?
He didn't allow you to work?
He didn't allow me to work. Actually, I wanted to be an actress. That's why I became his friend. I was modeling at that time. I just come out of secondary school. I was 18. Yeah. And then I met him along the line, and I wanted to be, someone who would put me into the industry and all that. And he categorically told me that I wouldn't act because it would destroy our relationship. Because at that time, we had gotten into a relationship, and he said he was planning to marry me, and the tabloids, then it was newspapers, so they would talk about him, talk about me, and it would break the relationship or the marriage,
So he told you not to become an actor
yes,
because of the
yes,
relationship?
Yes, he did say that. He even stopped my modeling career. In fact, I had been approached by an agency to be sponsored for Miss Nigeria at that time. This was 1999. He also refused. He said he couldn't handle me crying if I don't win, things like that. And I had to go back to the agency to say my family didn't want me to do it. And then I went to my family and said the agency dropped me just because I didn't know what to say to them, because he was saying, no, that I won't do it.
You met him when you were 18?
Yes.
You got married when you were 19?
No, we didn't get married till I was, I think, 23. Going on 24. Right. I was already pregnant with our second child when we got married. In fact, I had to be the one to speak out, like, you need to do something because this is our second child. So I was already heavy, and I regret it.
Why?
Yeah, because even during the wedding, he came late from the state he was shooting at that time. They never blessed us. It was his older sister's husband who had stood in, and the wine changing and blessings and all that was done. All through, when we had collected the list from my uncle and given to him, and we were preparing on our side, and I was always calling him, oh, are you, in tune with your family on the list to get everything? His family came empty-handed. They didn't bring anything. Even in family would always laugh at me at my back and say I married myself.
Wow.
It was always a case of, oh, she wants to marry a star, and she has to work for it. And I did. I slaved for that family. Everything that they wanted to do, I was a designated driver. Everything that they wanted to do, I was the one who was always doing things for them. I was doing it on my side because of love, because this was my family. As long as, you are my friend or you are my husband's people, you are my family, because my mom was a single parent, you understand. I come from a very humble background, but not that humble, you understand, because my mom strived, she worked hard to take care of her kids, but she protected us. And she brought us in this very close-knit, very loving home that, we grew up in. And so I always felt like every family is like that, you understand.
So the question is, somebody would wonder about is, why did you go ahead with the wedding despite all that disrespect? Him waiting for about 5 years into the relationship, his family not paying the bride price, him coming late. Obviously, there were signs. Why did you go ahead?
I didn't see the signs as signs. You understand? I didn't start, in hindsight, I wouldn't even date him. You understand? But then at that time, he was my first everything, first boyfriend. I just came out of secondary school. I just came out of not knowing, anything. I think it was when I got to be 24 that I started understanding that this is not right. This is not how I should be treated. I now started seeing that, I wouldn't accept some things, that kind of thing. And that's why I said I regretted, even doing that. Yeah. And it was until I was 28, 29, going into my 30s, I started fighting back. Right. And then it's now escalated from, verbal and all that, and then it became physical. Right. You understand? And then still, even with that, people would say, oh, it's a man's world, and I didn't think of myself. you know, but until the last time that he did beat me up and I was almost paralyzed, that was when I decided that I need to go. But still, I stayed 2 more years after that, you know, but...
He beat you until you were almost paralyzed?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We had gone out with the kids and we came back and I was changing my daughter and he saw, you know, her nappy rash, and it was a bad nappy rash, and he was all over the place, angry and all that she'd been molested. And I said, how? This is nappy rash. And he was going on and shouting, who did I give his daughter to, this and that, and they need to check her and everything. And I tried to calm him down that this is nappy rash. I use Vaseline instead of powder. That's why it's so red, you know, that kind of thing. And he was going on, and I was like, okay. And at that point, I was getting upset, you know, like, you can't be doing this. And then I was like, okay, give me money, let me take her to the hospital and let's get her checked. And then he hit me, you know. And at that point, I had like, you know, like, you can't keep beating me up, you know, and I held his hand. And so he just turned me over and hit me, and then he hit me at the back of my neck here, and that was it. I lost sensation to all my body parts. I went down on the floor. I couldn't feel my arms. I couldn't feel anything, and he kept hitting me. He kept hitting me, and I was shouting, Emeka, if you hit me one more time, I would die. I can't feel anything. I was only seeing the stars. So when he hits me, it goes poof, you know, that kind of thing. And that was only what I was seeing. I could talk, I could hear, I could see, but I couldn't feel. This was in front of our kids. This was in front of his PA at that time, Debola. And I was, you know, trying to move my body. My body wasn't moving, you know. So when he realized himself, he got up, he walked out of the house. And I was there for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, I don't know. I was still trying to move my body. And then I felt this sensation all over, like a million pins, you know, poking me, pricking me and everything. And I think the nerves were beginning to connect or something, you know. And then I got up. And that was when I saw the boy, Debola, peeping from the door. I guess he had told the boy to come and check if I died. You know, that kind of thing. And then I spoke the boy's name. I said, Debola, and the boy ran out. I think he didn't want to come close so that they don't say he's the one that killed me or something. And then I heard his car drive off. And I picked my children and I ran to a friend's house. He's denying it, but there are people that I run to their houses every time he beats me up. People that I run to their houses in the middle of the night. People that I run to their houses and I collapse. All this happened and they are living witnesses. I have pictures. I presented those pictures during the divorce. I still have those pictures, but I'll only give my evidences in court.
Right, so he, wow. For the kids' well-being, you have him have custody of the children, yes. And the court determined that and said you could have access.
Yes. And my lawyers had advised that it is a high court, because this was customary court, because we were only married traditionally. It was only that traditional marriage that we had. We never did the formal one of going to the registry, because he always has one woman out there who wants to give him American papers or who wants to give him this paper and that paper. But I never consented to it, because I would always say, you go there and you marry these women for papers in front of God and the minister. You're not saying this is fake, this is for paper.
So he keeps the children away from you as some kind of punishment after the divorce?
Yes.
And then tells them that you have abandoned them?
Yes, yes. When I reconciled with them, I didn't want to come out and say, oh, I'm here to get you, I'm your mom and this and that. I have custody of you, because I was awarded sole custody of the children. Well, I had to build my relationship back with them and let them, know me again. My daughter didn't recognize me. She thought the other lady was her mom, because she was 2 when she was taken away from me. When I had left with my 2 younger kids, because I felt they still needed me.
You said this marriage was abusive almost from the get-go. So you mentioned it was financial abuse, there was verbal abuse, there was emotional abuse.
Yes.
What do you mean by verbal and emotional abuse?
Insults, putting you down every time.
So you had a terrible temper?
Yes. When I got out and I was in a friend's car, I didn't know I used to sit like this. And that was because of the lashing. I jumped out of a moving vehicle before. I've attempted suicide 3 times.
Because of your husband?
Yes. He's not saying all these things. The pastors, they send pastors, the church will send pastors to our house. And he's out there, I'm in the bathroom, I want to slit my wrist. I've bought pack of blade. And him and the pastors are out there banging down my door, banging down the bathroom door. You understand? Because it was, you know, somehow I preferred physical. I preferred him to beat me than to say things to me.
So the words he was saying to you were so horrible that you wanted to take your own life?
Yes. He would describe you in like you are an imbecile. He would describe you like you are not worth anything.
And when did the physical violence start?
That started, like I said, when I started fighting back. Because, and I think he did feel that I was growing wings and I needed to be, you know, clamped down. So that was when it started. There was a time we went to the hospital, my child was sick, and we didn't have money, you know, and I was trying to negotiate with the hospital if they could, you know, treat the child and we'll pay later. And it was taking a little bit of time, you know, and he just came in and was yelling at me, "You're a fool, you don't know how to do things. What, all these people, you can't even talk to them. Who are they? They are beneath you, and you're allowing them to do this and do that." And I got upset, and I was like, "Why are you being a jerk?" You know, and excuse my language. And I went off into the car to sit down, and immediately he was coming into the car. His punch was the first thing that I was seeing on my jaw. Right in front of people in the car park, you know, so things like that. You dare not speak back. You dare not look him in the eye and talk when he's at it. It was always, you know, you have to do this, you have to do that. I made you. You made me. I was 18. I was pregnant with 2 of your kids when I got into the university. Yeah, I'm grateful for that, you understand, but that didn't mean that I have to be under you. I needed to be somebody of my own. I needed to have my own path in life. But he wouldn't accept anything.
Right.
He wouldn't accept anything. The house, he said, he's claiming that he built for my mom. He didn't build her any house. My mom's house was built in the 70s. How old was he in the 70s?
Right.
She was renovating, and she was doing the back, you know. And as a son-in-law, yes, he did give her a gift, you understand, which we're grateful for, you understand, but he never built a house for her. He keeps blowing things out of proportion, you understand. And then the school he's claiming about, I mean, we didn't spend that much money.
So you spent 450 million naira went down the drain.
That's the new amount now. It used to be 100 million. Now it's 480 million. The school didn't cost us that much. We were still owing the owner of the house. We had leased the building for 10 years because it wasn't really completed, and we're going to complete it and, you know, do other things and then make it suitable for a school and all that. But we didn't even complete the building, you understand. So, you know, we wouldn't have spent about 30 million, 20 million, you know, but for publicity's sake, you know, at first he was claiming it was 100 million. And now I don't know where 480 million is coming from.
Is it perhaps that it was paid in dollars and so he's in the exchange rate?
No, it
okay.
wasn't.
So the school thing, so he says that you took his school. Let's take the allegations one after the other.
Okay.
He says you took the school from him. Is that true?
I left in the middle of the term.
Right.
I left in October. The school ran till full term, and they were dispersed. I don't know. I was not in the picture.
So you don't know what happened to this school?
I don't know what happened. I only found out that he didn't resume the school in January, and he had moved with the children to Abuja.
Right.
So I never knew.
Anything about this school?
Yeah, I don't know.
Then he says that he went to the UK, to the US with a luggage, and by the time he came, you had swept everything clean from him.
Okay. So at that time, we didn't have money.
Okay.
The landlord had kicked us out of the house. The time we were given had come to an end. So we decided to move some things to the school compound because we still had space, you know, we were still building, it was not filled with children and all that, so we had space. So I moved some things into the school compound, and I was living with his mom. I was sleeping on the floor with my kids in his mom's small apartment, You understand? So I'll come from Isolo to Magodo every day to run the school. So that's where the move is coming from. You understand? But at that time, I had planned to leave.
Okay.
So he traveled, but he was within Nigeria. He traveled to.
Okay.
So when I was moving, I selected my things and kept them aside with my 2 younger children.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So when he landed and he called me to tell me he had landed, and I said, I've moved out. And he said, is that what you want? I said, yes. He said, let's keep it quiet. I don't want anything in the media. I don't want to know anything. And I said, okay, no problem. And I've been keeping quiet for 10 years. He has been the one doing all the talking right now.
Yeah.
You know.
He says that you assaulted his mother.
Yes.
Is that true?
No.
What happened?
That's quite the opposite.
Okay.
So I just given birth to our last child, and his mom, was coming to help out. And his mom will come Monday to Friday. She leaves on Friday that she must go to church. She must attend her church. So my mom comes Friday to Monday. My mom will leave in the morning on Monday morning. There was this one day his mom accosted my mom as my, we're all out there talking and laughing and all that. My mom then picked her bag and said she was leaving. And by the time she got into the middle of the compound, his mom jacked my mom's clothes and was shouting and saying my mom has stolen her son's money again. My mom should give her money. She needs her money. She wants to do things. She can't do anything. And my mom is here stealing her son's money. And she tore my mom's clothes, and my mom was naked. And my mom was like, can you find your son's money on me? My mom emptied her bags and everything, and, trying to say that I don't have any money on me. Which money have I stolen? You understand? And I got upset, and I told her, Mommy, I am tired. I am tired. You can have your son back. And I picked my kids, and I left. The next day, he called the pastor, they called me, we came back, and his sister was there, and, ranting. She would have beat up my mom if my mom was still around, that my mom beat up her mother. And I was like, I don't understand. And she said, yes, that's what they are saying. And I was like, no, that never happened, And his mom, after everything, had told me that Emeka was the one propelling the beating part, that she never told anybody ever beat her.
So Emeka's mother said she never told anybody. She said
she never said anybody beat her, that he, my husband, was the one that was propelling it, that she was beaten up.
What you're describing is a deeply toxic situation.
This is what I lived. This is what I lived 14 years of my life.
Now, there's also the other allegation of his properties that you essentially have taken away.
When I left, I only took my clothes, my international passport, my certificates, my 2 children, and their clothes. That was the only thing I took. I'm not in possession of his properties, where I did know their locations and all that. But how would you sell somebody's property if you don't have the papers or documents?
So you don't have any land documents?
I don't have anything. He's the one who, I have heard, has been selling off his properties. We couldn't even finish our buildings and all that because of his drug use. We couldn't make things out of life. We couldn't do anything with, we couldn't plan. We couldn't go ahead with our plans because of his drug use.
So he had a drug problem?
Yes.
When you say drug, what do you mean by drug?
Well, I didn't know he was taking drugs. It was when my kids came back, they told me their dad takes drugs.
What kinds of drugs?
Meds, whatever. They said they found his paraphernalia, And that made me realize why money would finish, why we'll plan and say, okay, this money is coming in. We need to do this. We're going to do this. And all of a sudden, money is gone.
You've just described him as a drug addict, essentially.
Yes.
Do you think the drugs that you've alleged contributed to this entire lack of peace?
Yeah, he might have. I'm not a medical person, but I think he might have. Even when I found out that he used to smoke marijuana, I had kicked against it. What he said is what makes him sane. He said it's what calms him down. And he tried to make me understand that it's medicinal, it's, it's okay, and, he needs it. But I don't know.
What made you keep coming back? This is a man who, you've described that he beats you in front of your children. He beat you in the car park in front of the hospital people. He called you stupid and dumb. You know, his sister and his brother had attacked you. What made you keep coming back to that marriage?
I don't know. I don't know. Because, how do I put it? In hindsight, I think it's grooming. It's grooming. And he was threatening to kill me. This man almost poured hot cooking oil on me at the time. He will carry knife and he will be walking up and down the house. I'll just kill you and nobody will know. Nobody will find out. I'll just finish you off. And the day he carried the hot oil, if I did not howl, I had to howl and clap my hands. And then he dropped the hot oil and he walked out and he was still even bragging and everything. And I was on the phone with my sister crying and, you know, he just poured hot oil on me. And myself like, no, he's only bragging. He's only trying to, he won't do it. That was all I kept hearing.
Speaking about friends, he said that some people were blackmailing you. That's why you broke up with him, or that's why you had the divorce.
I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't know any such. If he claims I took his properties, go to court. When my mother died, he arrested me. My mother was 2 weeks in the mortuary. I was in SARS, Ikeja, area F, Abi, area H. No, after I had left, you understand. He said I absconded with his children and everything. It was the boss of the police who had told me that he can always arrest you. He can harass you because he's still your husband. If you don't want him anymore, you need to divorce him. So immediately I came back from my mom's burial. Then I went ahead with because he was arresting my friends. He was making sure that people run away from me. I lost people. People were scared.
Oh,
people didn't want to, yes. Nobody buried my mother with me, no friend. There was
because
only 2 people
because
he scared everybody away. I buried my mom alone. And I'm her last born. My 2 sisters couldn't come from wherever they were. But because of this man, you know, I didn't have the backing that I needed, the support that I needed. You understand? So, you know, it's...
What you're describing, though, is because you talked about teaching your children about a psychopath and a sociopath. If you are correct in everything you've just described about the actor Emeka Ike, your ex-husband, you were dealing with a sociopath because...
Yes, I was. There was a day that he had finished beating me and I was on the floor looking at him, and then he was walking away. He came back and he was like, it's not me. It's you making me do it. And then he rang a bell, because I like to watch crime channel, which he had even accused me of wanting to kill him. So I'm looking for the best possible possible means. But it was a police work, you know. I would always say, oh, if I was abroad, I would do police work. I like the police work. You know, I like cold cases where they really dig and, you know, those kind of things. Yeah. But something that struck me when he had said, it's not me, it's you. You know, that denial, that putting the blame on the victim and all that. And I quickly Googled, you know, psychopath, but sociopath was the first, and they had 10 characteristics, and all 10 described this person. All 10. And I called my sister and said, look at what I found, look at this, look, this is what I'm facing, this is actually what is going on. Myself was like, then me too, I am one now. You know how family will always try to water down whatever you're trying to bring up. And it wasn't until after I left and he had said something and done something, and my sister was like, Emma, I see it now. You were right. You know?
As you've said, it fits the profile of a sociopath, and it makes sense. Why would he say all these things on live television when you have evidence, when there are people who were witnessing it,
Yes.
when there are friends, family
Yes.
that can confirm it?
Yes. I think he's really convinced I won't speak out. I think so. I think so. I think he really feels that he finished the job. She's never going to talk. I think so. Yeah, and I'm very sure this is going to be a shocker to him when this airs. I think so. In fact, I'm expecting him to sue me, because I don't expect him to really stop, you know, but I would rather we go legal, you know. That's the way I do things. Let's, you know, just iron things out. You know, I'm here because he dragged me here. He's been dragging me here for the past 10 years. You understand? And And initially, I would see people fighting for me. Oh, this man, you're the only one talking. This man is not even saying anything, you know. But right now, his narrative is the only one out there, and it's becoming the truth. You understand? And I needed to speak out, you know, for posterity's sake.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. What I've been through is something I would never wish my enemy. It's something that I would never wish the devil himself.
I had a